Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are fit and fine at your home. Students, today we shall study History and Civics subject of 6th standard. Students, in history subject today we are going to study the 7th chapter, that is India during Maurya period. Okay student, in the earlier chapter, that is 6th Janpadas and Mahajanpadas, we have studied the 4 important dynasties in India, as well as we have studied the rise of Maurya Empire. At the end of the chapter, we have studied that an optimistic young boy threw over the throne of Dhanananda and he became the king of Maurya Empire. The name of the young boy was Chandragupta Maurya. Under the guidance of Kautilya, or we can say Chanakya, he threw over the throne of Dhanananda and he became the king. Okay, so we have studied this in the last chapter. Now today we are going to study the 7th chapter, that is India during the Maurya period. Okay, here in this chapter 2 points we are going to study. The first one, that is 7.1, the Greek emperor Alexander's invasion, and the second one, that is 7.2, the Maurya Empire. Okay student, first we will start with the great Alexander. Okay students, and before moving forward, I would like to say thanks to my subscribers, those who have shared it, liked it, commented below the video and subscribed my channel. Thank you student. With this we shall begin the new chapter, okay, with Alexander the Great. Okay student, first of all we will have some basic information about Alexander the Great. Okay student, Alexander the Great was a Greek emperor or Greek king, we can say. Okay, the period of Alexander the Great was 356 BC to 323 BC. Okay students, Alexander III of Macedon is commonly known as Alexander the Great, okay, about whom we are going to study. Okay students, he became the successor of Philip II. Philip II was the father of Alexander the Great, and he became the king at the age of only 20 students. Yes, remember, at the age of only 20 he became the king. Students, one of the remarkable characteristics of Alexander was that most of his time he had spent in the military campaign only. Unprecedented military campaign. Unprecedented means what? Unique one. Remarkable, extraordinary, outstanding campaign of military. Okay student, so he is known as the great emperor, and the result of that, he had created a large empire in the ancient India students. Okay, stretching from Greece to northwestern countries or states. Okay students, have you understood this much? Students, again one of the important remarkable thing of Alexander the Great was he remained undefeated in battle in his life. He is considered as one of the most successful military commander in the world. Okay student, have you understood? Yes. So this is the basic information about the Alexander Great. Actually, Alexander III is commonly known as Alexander the Great, whom about we are going to learn. Okay student, now here we are going to learn about India during the Maurya period. Okay student, Alexander the Greek emperor invaded India's northwestern frontier in 326 BCE. Okay student, yes, we have studied about the northwestern part of India. Okay, that is Afghanistan, Takshashila and all the things. Okay student, have you understood this? Yes student, he crossed the Indus river. Indus river means what? The Sindhu river. Student, he crossed the Sindhu river or Indus river and reached the Takshashila. Okay student, Takshashila is one of the region in the Asian period. Nowadays also. Nowadays Takshashila is in Pakistan. Students, Indus river is one of the important rivers of Gangetic plains. Okay, it flows through China, India and Pakistan. So here Alexander the Great crossed this river and reached Takshashila. Okay. Takshashila was one of the important cities in the ancient India. Okay. Yes, Takshashila means what, student? Do you know what is mean by Takshashila? Takshashila means the cut of rock. Okay. Or Taksh rock. Okay. And it is one of the important archaeological site in ancient India as well as in modern India too. Students, one important thing about the Takshashila I would like to tell you. In 1980, Takshashila was declared as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, this is important and this is for your general knowledge. Okay, students, have you understood? Yes, very good. Students, when Alexander the Great, the Greek emperor, crossed the Indus River and reached Takshashila, during this period, he met a forceful opposition of the Indian kings. Okay, but he successfully defeated all the kings and reached to the Punjab. However, students, in this invasion, the army of Alexander the Great got tired. They lost their patience. They became homesick. They wanted to go back to their home. They wanted to go back to their country. So they were tired a lot. And because of this, Alexander the Great had to thought about returning back. And the soldiers were eager to go back to their home. And because of that, they rebelled against Alexander the Great. And he was forced to turn back. Okay, student. But before going back to their native places or countries, Alexander the Great appointed his Greek officers to administer the conquered region or invasions. The appointed officers were called satraps. Okay, student. Keep it in your mind that the appointed officers were called satraps. And then he started to return back. Okay, students. He started his return journey but died on the way back in 323 BCE. Okay, student. So here what do we see? That Alexander the Great died while returning back to the home in 323 BCE at Babylon. Okay, Babylon is one of the important cities of the Greek kingdom. Okay, it was considered as the capital of Greek kingdom, Babylon. And today Babylon is in Iraq. Okay, students, have you understood this much? Very good. Students, one of the important remarkable things of the Alexander campaign was that the trade between India and the western countries increased because of that campaign of Alexander. Okay, so the culture of India was introduced to the western countries because of Alexander's historians or because of Alexander's campaign. Okay, the historians of Greek which were accompanied with Alexander the Great, they introduced India to the western countries. Greek sculpture influenced Indian art and the result of it was that, students, the Greek kings minted the characteristics coins. Yes, in the 6th chapter we have studied that each and every Mahajanpadas had its own coinage. Okay, they used the coins for the purpose of trading. So in the same way here we see the Greek kings minted the characteristics coins. On the one side of the coin had a picture of the king who had minted it, and on the other side of the coin a picture of a Greek god. The name of the king also written on the coin. Alexander's coins were also of the same type. Okay, and at the same time the Indian kings also started minting the coins. Okay, students, have you understood this much? Yes. So this is the basic information about the invasion of the Alexander king on India. Okay, so student, here we have studied about Alexander the Great. Okay, student, have you understood this much? Very good. Now we have to move forward. Okay, student, now we shall study the second point, that is 7.2, the Maurya Empire. Okay, so in the 6th chapter also we have studied about the Maurya Empire. In the beginning of this video I have told how Chandragupta Maurya took over the Nanda dynasty. Okay, Chandragupta Maurya took over the Nanda dynasty and he became the king of Magadha Empire. Okay, and from that the Maurya Empire or the Maurya dynasty started. So we can say the founder of Maurya dynasty was Chandragupta Maurya. The period of Maurya Empire was 322 to 185 BCE. Okay, student? Yes, 322 to 185 BCE. Okay, students? Students, Maurya Empire was considered as one of the greatest empire of ancient India. Okay, which was based on the Magadha. Okay, here we have seen that Chandragupta Maurya won Patliputra and he became the king of Magadha, and from here the empire of Maurya started. Okay, so it was considered the greatest empire of India, the greatest Indian emperor we can say. During this period, Chandragupta Maurya dominated the Indian subcontinent, and as we have studied that Patna or Patliputra was the capital of Magadha Empire, in the same way here also Patliputra was the capital of Maurya Empire too. The empire was the largest political entity that has existed in Indian subcontinent, extending over 5 million square kilometer of Indian subcontinent. At its apex or height or zenith of Ashoka the Great. Okay, student, have you understood? So this is the basic information about the Maurya Empire. Now we will start with the Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, so I have told you how Chandragupta became the empire of Magadha. Okay, student, have you understood? Yes. So here Chandragupta Maurya founded the Maurya Empire. We knew that people were get tired of the tyrannical rule of Dhanananda, and just now I told you Chandragupta Maurya, under the guidance of Kautilya or Chanakya, he threw over the throne of Dhanananda and he became the king of Magadha and he founded the Maurya Empire. He established his own rule in Magadha around 325 BCE. Students, Chandragupta Maurya won Avanti, Saurashtra, and he started to increasing his boundaries of empire. He started to invade other territories too. Students, just now we have studied that Alexander the Great died while returning to Greece. Okay, while returning back to home. Okay, after the death of Alexander the Great, there was a struggle for power started among the satraps. Okay, student, who were the satraps? Satraps were the Greek officers who were appointed by Alexander the Great to administer the conquered areas. Okay, students, so here we see that the satraps was struggling among themselves for the power. Students, Seleucus Nicator was the general of Alexander the king. Okay, and after the death of Alexander king, he became the king of Babylon. Who did become the king of Babylon? Seleucus Nicator became the king of Babylon. He invaded the northwest frontier of India, but he had to face Chandragupta Maurya, and Chandragupta Maurya successfully resisted the invasion of Seleucus Nicator. The defeat of Seleucus Nicator led to the invasion of or inclusion of northwest region of Kabul, Kandahar and Herat in the Maurya Empire. Okay, students, so in this way Chandragupta Maurya resisted the powerful attack of Seleucus Nicator. He captured the three important places that are Kabul, Kandahar and Herat. Okay, student, have you understood this much? It's very good. So student, today we have studied the invasion of Alexander the Great and we have studied about Chandragupta Maurya. So here we have studied Chandragupta Maurya started the Maurya Empire. Okay, and we will have more information about the Maurya Empire in the next video too. Okay, so in the next video we will be starting with Ashoka the Great. Okay, who was one of the greatest king of the Maurya dynasty. Okay, student, so if you want to learn about the Ashoka the Great, be connect with me. Okay student, and to be connect with me, do not forget to subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Okay students, so you will get current notification of the next video. Okay student, then so here student, if you have liked this video and found it useful to you, then do not forget to share it to your friends, like it, comment below the video, and do not forget to subscribe it. Okay students, thank you. Be connected.